Have you ever heard of our Nuzlocke? The subreddit that's a place to tell your Nuzlocke history? Home to more than 90,000 Nuzlockers, some of them goated with the sauce and some, well, less goated with the sauce. Needless to say, we're part of the subreddit, and one fateful day, we decided to have fun with the community by posting this gym, asking for people to give us dumb rule sets to try out. And while some of the comments were questionable, some of them were interesting, like this one from MechAssault7, no stab allowed. And thus, we rose to the challenge and decided to Nuzlocke Gen 1 without any stab moves. Let's go. Now, what is stab? Stab is the same type attack bonus. Basically, if a Pokemon uses a move of the same type, such as Snorlax using Body Slam, the power of that move will be boosted by a factor of 1.5, making it optimal for most Pokemon to have moves of their own types in their moveset. In this run, we'll not be using stab boosted moves on any of our Pokemon. Oh, and also, we will go even further than the original troll request by banning all non-damaging moves as well. And of course, standard hardcore Nuzlocke rules apply. With rules set in place, time to throw away the knives and swords, for there will be no stabbing on our part. We start off by picking our starter. We pick a Charmander named Charmander. We deliver Oak's parcel and get access to Pokeballs. Now we can start adding more Pokemon to our roster, such as No Value the Pidgey. Now, you may ask, why in the heck we would name our Pokemon No Value? Well, dear viewer, I present you with the Gen 1 Pidgey Learn set. Every single move this thing learns is either a stab move or a non-damaging move, both of which we have banned, which means the Pidgey literally cannot do anything. But surely, this is the only time this will happen, right? Right? Now we proceed to catch more encounters which actually have value, such as Nid Emperor the Nidoran male, Fury the Weedle, and last but not least, Required the Caterpie. And if you wonder why we called it Required, it's because, well, it's required to beat this Nuzlocke. As it turns out, every single viable strategy for Brock depends on clicking stab or non-damaging moves to win the game. That is, except for Confusion Butterfree, which can win without either of those things. If we did not get a Caterpie, we would simply have reset the game and start it over. But fortunately, we did. And that is all we needed to beat the first gym, as Confusion beats the low special rock types with ease. Moving on to Route 3, we can catch a Spearow, which also gets no useful moves for this rule set. We call it Zero Value, and get a Zubat in Mount Moon that we call Leech. We then go to Route 4 and get ourselves an Ekans named MC Snake. With this team, it's time to have a fateful encounter with our rival, Reddit. We lead Nid Emperor, who can 1v1 Pidgeotto with massive horn attacks. Next is Abra. We go to Fury and beat both the useless Psychic type and Rattata with ease. Against Squirtle, we miss 2 moves in a row and we get crit. So we have to switch to Required, who easily takes care of the tiny turtle. With our rival down, we can go to Route 25, where we get an Oddish named Hi. Now we're going to leave the SSN after we beat Misty, but we take the opportunity to go all the way to Vermilion to catch some more Pokemon. We get, mostly bad, the Mankey. We also catch Doji Trio, the Diglett in Diglett Cave, No Brainer, the Drowsy in Route 11, and most importantly, the best normal move spammer of all time, Normidos, the Magikarp from fishing in Vermilion City. With Normidos, we quickly sweep the water gym and come back to Vermilion to continue our adventure. In the SSN, we have another fateful encounter with Reddit, who has improved his squad a bit. We still use Nid Emperor to beat the Pidgeotto up. We also chip Raticate a bit before switching to Leech. Golbat eats up the rat with Bite before swapping out to Normidos on the incoming Kadabra. From here, Gyarados takes quick care of Kadabra and Wartortle with the amazing move Body Slam that is learned by TM, and that will remain its best move throughout this run. However, Gyarados, despite how good it is, would like to stay in the back for the next challenge, Gym Leader Surge. For this gym, we lead with Dig Charmeleon and take out Voltorb and Pikachu. When Raichu comes in, we switch into a healthy Nid Emperor that effortlessly wins an easy 1v1. So far, so good. With the third badge in our hands, we can have an easy breezy stroll through Mount Moon, courtesy of Bubble Beam Nidoking. We also catch Boom the Voltorb in Route 10. Next stop for us is Celadon City, as it's home to Gym Leader Erica. Now, we may have banned stab moves and non-damaging moves, but what we did not ban is AI exploits. Thanks to High the Now Vileplume, this gym is trivial. See, the Gen 1 AI sees Vileplume as a grass type and thinks Poison Powder, a poison move, is super effective against it, so it spams the move on the immune Vileplume. Thanks to this, we can take both grass Pokemon behemoths with repeated cuts, and Tangela is easily disposed of by Require the Butterfree. As we move on through beating up the Team Rocket split in Celadon and Rival 4, our starter gets inspired by High's ability to slash those grass types down with cuts, and learns its major selling point for this run, Gen 1 Slash. In Generation 1, Slash is a base 70 normal move that has a high crit rate, which practically means that on a decently fast Pokemon like Charizard, it will crit literally every single time, making it an effective base 140 power move, almost a drawback-free Hyper Beam. This, with access to Dig and workable attack and speed stats, make Charizard far better than anything Blastoise or Venusaur can ever be in the context of this challenge's rules. Moving on, we catch Gaslight the Ghastly in Pokemon Tower. What does Ghastly do? Well, how about sweeping Koga's gym, who of course only has poison types with exclusively normal and poison moves. Thanks to TM Psychic, not only is this fight brain dead easy, but we can also keep the rest of our Pokemon at a level lower than the 43 level cap of Sabrina, just in case. However, before we go any further, we can actually get some more resources, namely a Starmie, which we get by fishing in Cinnabar Island with a Super Rod. Now, without stab moves and recover, Starmie is not as good as it otherwise would be, but it is still very good if we give it the coveted Bolt Beam coverage. With this addition, we can go back to Saffron and fight Reddit and Silph. Using the classical Nid Emperor lead, we KO not only Pidgeot but also Growlithe. Execute comes next. We go Haunter and beat it up. Next up is the dangerous Alakazam. We go Starmie and chip it down with Ice Beam before finishing it off with Slash from Charizard. And finally, Blastoise falls to Normidos spamming Body Slam. Very clean. What we hope will be as clean as the Sabrina fight with her broken psychic types. This is Charizard's moment. We easily carve our path through Kadabra and Mr. Mime with Slash, and once Venomoth comes in, we go Normidos and 1v1 with Body Slam. Last but definitely not least is Alakazam. We go Starmie and spam Ice Beam as a Gen 1 AI spams Recover. The reason we do this is that, barring any Gen 1 misses, we have around 65% odds of freezing with one of our 10 Ice Beams. Obviously, we don't actually get a freeze, but we play the same game with Thunderbolts and end up paralyzing. From here, No Brainer can come in and use Paralysis and Flinch strats to beat the Zam with Headbutt. Next up is Gym Leader Blaine and his Fire type. Of course, the usual solution of Surf, Starmie, Tentacruel, and Earthquake Nidoking are kinda off the table, but do you know what is not off the table? Dig Charizard. With a good super effective move, decent attack, and fire resistance, Zard does an easy 80% run of Blaine and gives us an easy peasy Gym 7 badge. With massive momentum, we head straight into Viridian City to get rid of the bad guy Giovanni, who also happens to be the last gym leader. We mislead Charizard into Rhyhorn, but we quickly correct by going Nidoking and clicking Surf. Dugtrio is next, which allows us to actually go Zard and slash it down. Once Nidoqueen comes in, the battle is already over. See, no one of the upcoming guys has any moves for Haunter. Gaslight is then free to spam Psychic until the 8th gym badge is ours. With all gym badges in our hands, the ultimate challenge awaits us. The no stab, no status move Elite Four Gauntlet with the team of Star the Starmie, Normidos the Gyarados, Nid Emperor the Nidoking, Gaslight the Haunter, No Brainer the Hypno, and Charmander the Charizard. Lorelei is first. Thunderbolt Starmie makes quick work of both Dugong and Cloyster. Slowbro is next to try exploit good at by sending Haunter, but Psychic is useless against it. After we decide to toggle our brain back on, we go Gyarados, who also forces Lorelei's good AI to use Amnesia, as Withdraw and Water Gun are considered not very effective. Gyarados can easily beat Slowbro and Jinx and manages to power through Lapras as well. Next up is Bruno. Nidoking drowns Onix in 1v1's Hitmonchan. Next comes Hitmonlee, who cannot do anything to a Psychic spamming Haunter. Onix gets easily handled by Blizzard Gyarados, and Machamp is also food to the angry Haunter that can dodge all of its moves and plunge it into a perpetual sleep. Next up is the fight against Agatha. We lead with our trusty Digzard who one-shots Gengar 1. Golbat is next. Nidoking can easily 1v1, Haunter comes out, we try to go Zard again, but we get put to sleep. Upon seeing this, we elect to use Haunter to win the Haunter Mirror match and claim Arbok as well. Last Gengar is all that remains. We try to go Zard, but a mix of confusion and an ability to wake up prevents us from going anywhere with Zard, despite trying to pivot Nidoking to reset confusion. We thus switch plans and use Rock Slide to chip Gengar down before getting confused. We then switch to Gyarados and manage to land a Blizzard, beating the third Elite Four member. A bit sloppy, but so far so good. Against Lance, Gyarados is a very easy kill with Thunderbolt Starmie, and we can abuse good AI on Dragonairs with Nidoking, making them completely free to beat. Aerodactyl's next, and it has only normal moves, so we go Haunter. However, you can notice that it only has 52 HP, because, of course, we forgot to heal it up between fights. We get confused and hit ourselves once, so we go no-brainer to reset the confusion and tank a non-crit Hyper Beam and go back. This time around, we do not get confused and beat this prehistoric bird up. Last and actually least is Dragonite, as Nidoking once again wins by virtue of being good at shenanigans. Only one fight left. The champion Reddit himself came back to bring us karma for all the cheese we used to win so far. Will he be able to get us out? We, once again, lead Nidoking into Pidgeot and 1v1. Some things never change. Once Zam comes in, we go Starmie. We spam Tri-Attack against it and nice! The biggest threats gets taken down immediately. We then use Haunter for the Rhydon, who also only has normal moves. Next is Arcanine. We send out Normidos, who epically dodges all of Arcanine's moves like a freaking Super Saiyan and beats the big dog. Executor is next. Gyarados doesn't care. No move seems to be able to even hit him. Blastoise, the last obstacle, is sent out, and Gyarados is ready to face it. We get hit a couple times, but we easily outdamage, winning us the fight. And just like that, without any stabbing, sand attacking, boosting, recovering, or whatever the move Thunder Wave is supposed to be, we beat a hardcore Nuzlocke of Gen 1, successfully winning not only one, but two of Reddit troll challenges. Why though? Because this run was completely deathless from start to finish, which means we technically won If a Pokemon Dies, Kiss a Girl challenge. Listen, this way of doing it literally counts, so I don't care what you say or think. Please feel free to tell us in the comments if you'd like more Reddit troll runs, or troll us yourselves with runs you'd like us to consider doing. And as always, feel free to like and subscribe to the channel, and have a nice one.